and we also now, I'm delighted to say, have a presence here in Vietnam. We have two divisions in our company. The first is a consultancy business where we work with international laboratories and scientists around the world to design and create hygiene programs for biosecurity, so that farms can have the highest standards of biosecurity and hygiene. And these hygiene programs cover everything from all areas of agriculture, aquaculture, poultry, dairy, slaughterhouses, etc. And the second part of our business is where we manufacture a series of products that are designed to disinfect and protect air, surfaces, and water. So we're a UK company, as I mentioned, but I'm delighted that Vietnam remained open during the complicated COVID pandemic, so it gave us an opportunity to make an investment and set up our Southeast Asian manufacturing base here in Vietnam. And we spent the last period getting our ISO accreditation and our various authorizations and papers and things in place. And Vietnam was a natural choice for us to set up a manufacturing hub here so that we can manufacture products and we can export them to other countries in Southeast Asia, which we're doing now. And we're actually manufacturing products here and exporting them back to the Middle East as well. So I think a lot of the people in the room here today, we know that hygiene and biosecurity is very important to you. And with our experience of having worked in things like hospital, infection control, and a number of farms around the world, we've got a well-documented experience in determining the bacteria and viruses in different environments. And we work with independent scientific experts in Vietnam and also the UK and other countries in which we operate, using internationally recognized protocols to evaluate the threats that face farms all around the world. It's similar problems. And one thing that I'm sure the audience here recognise, and we see it again around the world, is there are many different chemicals and treatment practices for biosecurity, and not all of them as are effective as they claim. So it's about supporting what we're doing with data. This is obviously a little bit of a cartoon that we have here, but I think some of the diseases, bacteria, and viruses that we refer to on this particular slide, again, will be familiar to a lot of the audience in the room. And again, challenges that are faced by agriculture, aquaculture, and farms throughout the world. While we can't solve all of the problems, through our research and using data, we can help to address and solve some of the issues that are highlighted on this particular slide. And so really a core part of our division is our hygiene program. And it starts with our team of technicians working in country, and it's about identification. So we might be using laboratories in Vietnam to identify bacteria, viruses, etc. Then after the identification process comes our assessment, working with key stakeholders to understand what we found. Then we can look at products and solutions to mitigate. And then importantly, after, it's about monitoring and a continual monitoring of the hygiene program and what's being implemented can lead to official certification. And that can be particularly important when it comes to exporting. Vietnam produces, I've been here some time now, and Vietnam produces some fabulous products. And so by adopting the highest standards of hygiene and biosecurity and having that internationally recognised certification opens up these export markets. So as I summarise on this slide, good data equals good outcomes. we try not to guess by having accurate data, working with universities and scientists. Good data equals good outcomes, and that's how we can become sustainable, green, and the threats of climate change can be addressed. We work very closely with the University of West of England down in Bristol, so they've helped us with our hygiene programs. They've also helped us with the development of the products, which I'll come on to in a second. But we also work with laboratories and organisations elsewhere in the world. So, for example, we did a study with Chulalongkorn University and the Central Veterinary Research Laboratory in Dubai on foot and mouth disease virus, which is a particular challenge in the region. And we were looking at ways of using products and data to be able to try to solve some of those issues. And we also work with organisations in Vietnam. So it's really a collaborative cooperation, and it's about sharing data. The best practices can be found all over the world, and so knowledge can transfer from Vietnam back to the UK, from the UK. We have a lot of customers, for example, in places like Saudi Arabia, and in the deserts of Dubai. They have their other challenges that they're trying to deal with biosecurity and agriculture and sustainability. So by being able to operate in many different countries, we really are able to share a lot of data amongst the agricultural customers to address best practice. So what are our objectives? The Vietnamese Cooperative Alliance members are here, a lot of business owners, etc., etc. A lot of challenges. Often people talk about being sustainable, being green. That often refers to additional cost. High tech often refers to additional cost. Yes, sometimes investments need to be made, but if they're made on the back of good data and they're supported by good data, yes, we can help improve the feed conversion ratios. Yes, we can increase revenue in a sustainable and ecologically safe way. Yes, we can reduce antibiotic use. Yes, we can reduce spoilage and wastage, and it's all supported by data. And again, I think it was alluded to in some of the earlier presentations, particularly with regards to opening export opportunities. It's about getting these amazing products that are grown and made in Vietnam to these markets overseas by having the biosecurity and having the hygiene program from the farm gate right the way through to the end customers wherever they might be in the world. So some examples of what we're doing here in Vietnam. Agriculture is something of particular interest. Obviously Vietnam has thousands and thousands of shrimp and fish farms, and again faced with the same biosecurity problems that aquaculture face in the UK and other parts in the world. And we have very, very clear objectives. We want to increase the survival rate, we want to increase the shrimp rate, we want to increase yield, and we want to increase the feed conversion ratio. So by using our hygiene program and our data collection, using our sensors and monitoring, we can continuously monitor the water, we can identify problems before they happen, and we can deliver positive outcomes in cooperation with our customers. Another example, not just in Vietnam, but in other parts of the world, slaughterhouses. Again, a very, very important part of the food chain, and the transmission and bacteria and virus transmission via air and via surfaces in slaughterhouses is a particular problem. So we work with our customers here and in other countries to implement plans whereby we can reduce bacteria and virus transmission in the slaughterhouse environment. So once we've identified the problem, what do we then do? And we have a portfolio of products that we believe that can then help solve some of these problems. The first is our disinfectant products. So This is now something that we manufacture here in Vietnam, that we sell domestically, but we also export to Thailand, to Philippines, to Malaysia from Vietnam. It's a proprietary production process that was designed in the UK, and we've now imported that technology into Vietnam. But by being close to our customers, we're able to be competitive on price. And so I know we're short for time, so I won't go through all the particular applications, the details in the leaflet. Next product we have is our contact-free disinfection. So again, often hygiene, biosecurity, it's a very labour-intensive process. It requires technicians, employees, etc., etc. Now we're looking at solutions that can operate autonomously, solutions that can operate automatically, so that the biosecurity and the hygiene is not just about while people are present, but it can be run out of hours and it can be run at any time of day. Third product in our portfolio that we have here in Vietnam is our antimicrobial surface protection. What's innovative about this is it's a one-time application for 12 months protection against bacteria, viruses, and also mold as well, which can be a particular challenge in all areas of agriculture. So the product is very safe. It can obviously help reduce a lot of chemical consumption because it is a one-time application, and it can continuously kill bacteria and viruses. And then the third product in our portfolio is about air purification. When I set the company up, I sat down with a group of microbiologists, and half the room talked about bacteria and virus transmission in the air, and the other half talked about bacteria and virus transmission by surface. So I thought, okay, we need a portfolio of products that can address both issues. So here, again, UK technology, manufactured here in Vietnam, air purification systems, where we can eliminate all contaminants in indoor air quality. Particular application here, for example, might be poultry houses, poultry sheds. You know, I'm sure some of you will be familiar with the pad cooling type operations in poultry houses. Still have issues inside with avian flu, bacteria, virus transmission in the poultry houses, etc. Again, can we solve all the problems? No. But supported by data and supported by our products, we believe that we can help address some of the challenges you face in order to be sustainable, green, and the challenges of climate change. And then the last thing is our aquaculture and our water purification technology. The really unique selling point about this is it's something that we can import from the UK. It's mobile in nature, so we can deliver it wherever it's required. In Vietnam, we can treat any water source, and we can continuously monitor with our technology the water parameters, so that we can deliver what's required in order to get, again, the right outcomes in the aquaculture growing phases. I think I sped through that pretty quickly, so thank you very much. Pleasure to be here, and I'll pass the mic back.
Thank you very much, Ben.